Yeah, I think the success which we've made, yeah, it's brought us together. But from day one, you know, we it was a case of we just enjoyed what we did, you know, and it progressed to a point where, you know, it wasn't nothing planned as such. You know, we just enjoyed what we was doing and doing shows, and that's why we're here today. I mean, also the fact that we're 4 individuals, you know, and we all respect each other's space, we respect each other, and I think that's held us together as well.
1 minute you're flying here, next minute you're in a different country, next minute you're on stage, you know, it's not normal, so it's just like, to begin with, it's hard to deal with, do you know what I mean? It's like hard to get the hang of going away every weekend and stuff like that, but I don't know, sort of a year of doing it, and you get used to it. Now it's just like, I'm used to it, you know, it doesn't mean anything to me to fly to America and do a tour there. You know, it's like so easy done, you know, it's just like, you know, I don't think about it now, it just happens, and like, none of it makes sense. I mean, I hate everything apart from getting on stage and writing in the studio. I don't like doing interviews, I don't like doing photo sessions, nothing like that, because none of it's, I'm not into any of that. I mean, I'm in it for the real reasons, for the music, do you know what I mean? And performing on stage, do you know what I mean?
So, what did you accept today to meet journalists and all that stuff? Because it was the pressure of the record company, or you said to yourself, okay, sometimes we have to do it.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to play the game, do you know what I mean? It's like, we don't, you know, we're basically our own bosses, you know, we don't kind of do anything the record company want us to do unless we know it's something that has to be done. I mean, you know, you've got to do some interviews to like let people know what you're talking about. But I mean, I don't. You know, we do some interviews, but we don't do many. Do you know what I mean? We don't do many interviews.
Depending what, I mean, we do interviews for the right reasons. You know, it's to let people know what we're about and to create the right kind of buzz. You know, so if people know what we're about, they can come to a show and check us out and see what it's about. You know, the Prodigy vibe. You know, we don't do interviews for the other reason where a lot of people do interviews just to sell records. You know, it's not, we're not on this capitalise on everything kind of type of, you know, trip where, you know, groups are manufactured. They go out, they have to do a certain amount of TV, certain amount of interviews to sell certain products, you know, and push themselves forward. You know, we do it for the right reasons. We do selected and credible magazines, credible things, which are credible to us, you know, because, you know, we believe in what we're doing. And we want to draw people around us which believe in the same kind of things, you know.
You have a control on everything. You don't let people doing something for you. I mean, but the image, the videos, the music, the record company, everything is under control.
Yeah, I mean, it's not you otherwise, is it? Do you know what I mean? If you're letting people style you or do your videos, it's like I was speaking to Keith earlier about like videos and stuff, and someone was asking like about the direction of the videos, and you know, you don't let a director, you know, we don't let a director come in and say, you've got to do this, or, you know, I've got this wicked idea, do that. You know, we all work together on it. You know, it's like, otherwise they're not representing the song. You know, it's like we've thrown away tens of thousands of pounds on videos before and not used them. But you know, like when we did Firestarter, you know, there was another video no one ever saw. It's finished, you know, and I saw it. You know, I was like, that's not the video, I'm not using that, you know, and basically it didn't represent the song, it didn't have half the energy the song did, and then we pulled together, like, the video that everyone else saw, the black and white video, in, like, 2 weeks, and that was a really good video, but it was down to us and the producer working together and getting a good direction, you know.
But, I mean, like, as far as, like, videos and things like that go, you know, I mean, we've built this, like, over the last 7 years, you know, off our own backs, you know, off the buzz of 4 of us, we've built this, you know, so we're not going to give it to somebody to manipulate and totally send it in the wrong direction where we don't want to, you know, where we don't want to go. So, and plus, everything we do represents us, and since we start doing things that don't represent us, we're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, but the most interesting thing is when you belong to this business, or when you become big, as Prodigy is at this day, you know, you have to keep the mind clear, you know, and that's most important, to keep the freedom in the identity.
Yeah, definitely. You've got to stay on the path where you believe in what you're doing, you know. You can't stray and let people, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do this, oh, you got to do that. You got to believe in what you believe in, you know, and stick to that. And I think if you stick to that, you haven't got no problems, you know.
I would like to talk with you about the identity of the music of Prodigy, because at basically it was kind of rock band, the rock attitude, and the techno song and dance arrive. And how did you mix all that identity in the music and do now Prodigy? What's happened
well,
musically?
It's a long story. I mean, it's evolved over 7 years. Do you know what I mean? It's very hard to like sit down and kind of explain it in a couple of sentences. But like basically, I'm originally from the hip hop scene. You know, I sort of grew up, and all my influences were from where hip hop came from. The sort of, you know, sort of New York and kind of DJs, the way that whole thing started. And it was all really DIY music. You know, people would make like rap records in their bedroom and stuff like that. So I really respected that. And like, I never wanted to play guitar or drums or be in a band when I was younger. I just wanted to be a DJ. And you know, like most people who get into dance music, you know, you DJ first and then you buy some equipment and you start writing music. Exactly the same with me. You know, I did that. But I wasn't happy to be like in a techno band that was just like that, just seeing one form of music and just kind of staying on that tip of like using certain sounds and using certain tempos. Because a lot of people into the dance scene are really like catering for DJs. They're making records just so DJs can play them in the clubs. I just didn't want to do that, you know. And I think like Guilty Generation, our second album, was a real turning point for the Prodigy. It was when everything really came together. The live show came together, the music came together. Before that, I was just naive, you know. I didn't know fuck all about the music business. Do you know what I mean? It was just like I didn't know anything about my direction I wanted to go in. I was just writing records for the rave scene. As soon as the rave scene collapsed, I think it was a good thing, because it made us as a band come out stronger, and as performers come out better. And like basically, the whole thing kind of grew from there, really.
I think what also we realised that there was like more energy in other scenes as well. The same kind of energy what was in the dance scene, you know, that there was in other, you know, because yeah, when we first started in the dance scene, we just listened to dance music. You know, very blinkered, you know, but travelling around, we realised that there was other bands out there doing the same things but in other scenes, you know, and we realised that, yeah, there's energies at festivals and energies at college dues and whatever, you know, there's energy there, you know, it wasn't just at doing the dance scene things, you know, and I think it's evolved in a way where, you know, I think Liam has taken on influences from other scenes and put in his music, you know, and we've just grown it. I mean, that's why it's progressed to this level as it is now, do you know? We've just taken the other influences, turned them into the music, into the live show, you know, and realised that, you know, whether you're taking drugs down the dance scene or whatever, you know, in the dance party, or whether you're drinking alcohol down the college, you know, you can still feel the same energy and feel the same buzz. And we realised that we've got something special, do you know?
Yeah, but it's like also, you know, I'm into like anything, you know, I'm an appreciator of anything that rocks, whether it's dance music, you know, rock music, hip hop, anything like that, as long as it's got that special energy, do you know what I mean? So it's pulling together all those styles and spitting it out as like a Prodigy sound, you know, and like, there's no other dance bands that like were prepared to sort of step forward and like bring the attitudes to the dance scene. You know, no one. You know, I'm not going to run through a list of dance bands, but there isn't anyone, do you know what I mean? There wasn't anyone, and there still isn't anyone doing it, what we're doing. You know, and there's a few people around trying to copy what we're doing, you know, but like people always remember the originators of like the style, do you know what I mean?
But I think also, it also lays in the music, you know? You know, I think if you're blinkered and you just make traditional dance music, so to speak, you know, there's no way that energy has that same attitude in it as Prodigy music, you know.
Rock and roll is not just a sound, it's an attitude. It's like a whole thing that comes together to make up the whole thing, and like I'm just into that. You know, I'm into like, it makes it alive, you know, aggressive music, you know, it's still positive, even though it's aggressive. It just like makes the whole thing become alive instead of just so mechanical and like, do you know what I mean? I'm just really into that side of things, you know?
But there's a big difference between when we see you on, well, I can see you on stage or on the video, it's kind of energy and violence, and people you are in the real life. You know, it's and that's why it's good to do the interview, because we can meet another side of Prodigy. What
do you want me to do? Like start running around and like punching people in the face?
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
no, I mean,
you know, you're interviewing me. How can you suss me out in like 5 minutes? Do you know what I mean? How do you know I'm not fucking mad? Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, people always try and work you out, and people don't need to work me out in my private life, because like you know, I don't like allow people to sort of like step to me and kind of like, you know, try and work me out, because I'm not that. I'm not like, I don't want to be like a star. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah. I'm doing it because I like music. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it because I'm in it for this, you know. And I don't think people try and say, yeah, you know, you act all like hard on stage and shit like that, and you're not really like that. People don't know me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can't work something out in 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, that always annoys me, that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just like the imagination of people working, you know, that's a fact, you know.
Plus, like, from myself, do you know, I'm totally different on stage to when I'm off stage, you know. It's the music does something to me, why I'm like that on stage. You know, I don't need to be like that off stage, you know. You know, I've got something special there, and I'll keep it for the stage, you know. And if you want to, you know, being about, you know, that's a totally different side to me, you know, and this is me. You know, I mean, yeah, not 100% me. If you want to really know me, come out with me Friday night, drink a couple of beers and whatever, and then you'll see what I'm like. Do you know what I mean?
Get dissed.
I start dissing you. That's me. You know
See,
I mean?
I don't change when I go on stage. I'm just always the same. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't feel like I've got a persona. I'm just always me. Do you know what I mean? And if I go out, I can be mellow. I can be like, go off my head and get really pissed or take drugs or whatever. I don't care. You know, it's just like, I don't feel like I ever change. You know, I don't feel like I step on stage and change into someone else. You know, but yeah, the music, when the music comes on, it's like it just gives you the confidence. Do you know what I mean? It just gives you like, you know, there's no point in stepping on that stage unless you think you're the best. I don't get on that stage and not think I'm the best person to write this type of music, because otherwise, if I didn't, well, there's no point, is there? There's no point in even going. You know, I don't get on the stage thinking, oh, there's a few bands that are better than me, yeah. You know, you get on the stage because you know you're good, don't you? Do you know what I mean? It's,
you just take on, do you know what I mean? The music stirs something up in you, you know? It makes you come out, you know? And that's the reason why we are what we are, because we come out of ourselves, you know what I mean? And you know, I've said this to Liam before, you know, you know, like, yeah, if like 10 years ago you asked me to go on stage and MC on stage, I'd be just walking up and down the stage, you know, and I wouldn't be doing nothing special, because I wouldn't have, you know, but the music's done something to me, it's brought something out of me, you know, and it's, you know, it's tapped on something inside of me. It's just made me come out my shell a bit more, and, you know, when I'm on stage, I've got front, do you know what I mean? You can't front me when I'm on stage, because that's what it does to me.